Hello and welcome to Inside the ER. My name is Dr. Patrick Garrity, and I'm a practicing board-certified emergency physician in Baltimore, Maryland. You are listening to our first episode, which will be a short introduction to the podcast. I decided to start this show to offer a glimpse into the ER and emergency medicine tailored towards the general public. This is in contrast to the many educational podcasts out there for healthcare providers. My hope is to explain how the ER operates and how providers think in a way that anyone can understand. There are many facets of our practice that I wish everyone knew, so if they or their loved ones find themselves here, they will be better prepared. If you are listening to this while actually inside the ER, well, good luck to you then, my friend. I'm going to do my best to avoid a few pitfalls I often notice in similar content directed towards the public. First, it can be vague and sanitized, speaking too generally of our practice and glossing over any uncomfortable topics. I plan to speak to you with as little filter and as much detail as possible to give you a true perspective into the work we do. I'll also try to avoid another pitfall, sensationalism. You know, this is that true and shocking tales from the ER type of vibe. These unnerving tales do occur, of course, but focusing on them exclusively will give you a false impression of the day-to-day. And the last pitfall, a lot of the content out there is just wrong. It's so frustratingly wrong. So we're going to try to avoid that. My hope is that the insights I have to share with you will not only educate and entertain, but also focus my understanding of my practice and bring me some catharsis. The unique type of holistic stress one suffers from when working as a healthcare provider is difficult to explain, but I think an attempt is worth it. Everyone benefits when both the provider and the patient know what the other is going through. Now, let's move through some disclaimers. First, this podcast will not be a substitute for seeing a medical professional. This podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please do not write in and ask me, "What's this rash I have?" I may not know, and it will be embarrassing for both of us. General questions or comments are fine, of course, but if you have any active medical concerns, please see your primary care provider, or come to the ER, I guess. Second, the views expressed here will be my own. I'm not trying to represent my employer, where I work, or emergency medicine as a whole. Doctors can be a vainglorious bunch, and they would never accept me as their leader. Third, some of the topics discussed may be unsettling. As I said, I want to share my experiences truthfully, but also with sensitivity. I will include trigger warnings for any particularly graphic episodes. You will not hear any stories purely for the shock. They will always be interesting and have value, I hope. Fourth, I'm going to joke around. Some of it may actually be funny. Just because I am joking does not mean I am trying to mock patients, their loved ones, or their conditions. Relying on humor, often dark humor, is normal for those working in stressful and depressing environments, such as the ER. To paraphrase the author Robert Heinlein, we laugh because it hurts. Fifth, while I'm a professional physician, you can probably tell that I'm an amateur podcaster at best. If there's something below amateur, I would definitely qualify. So please bear with me with any technical issues or audio quality while we're starting out. I'm sure there are more disclaimers, but it's all I can think of right now, so let's wrap this one up. Each episode or series will focus on a specific topic, and at the end I may respond to emails from y'all or comment on any current medical news. I have a lot of medical friends, and I may on occasion bring on anyone brave enough to join me. All fields of medicine have to interact with the ER in some way, so anyone is fair game. For the initial launch of our podcast, we're going to release this introduction and 3 more episodes at once. After that, there will be a new episode every 2 weeks. If people like what they're hearing and want more, and I don't lose my mind, then we may add an episode here or there. Maybe. You may have noticed that I said our podcast instead of my podcast. This is intentional because I want this show to be a collaboration between myself, any future guests, and you, the listeners. While I am sitting in my wife's home office, talking to myself, my microphone propped up on the box it came in, hoping the neighbors can't hear me through the wall, this show will hopefully not exist in a vacuum. I want to connect with you and take in your feedback while keeping my voice as true and unfiltered as possible. With all that said, welcome to... Wait, cut the music. One more thing. No AI will be used in the writing or recording of this podcast. These are my words, and this is my voice. A chatbot can't intubate, and it ain't making this podcast. Okay, where were we? Oh, right. With all that said, welcome to the podcast. Join us next time on Inside the ER. And by next time, I mean right now, because the next 3 episodes are already out. So go ahead and keep listening. Thanks for joining me, and all the best.